y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going, Healthy Warrior Shane?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Woo! Woo! Guys, welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show, because we don't get to episode 2 till we get episode 1 right. And the only thing we do right is get episode 1 wrong. That is what we do. USA, USA, USA.
We're number 1 on a scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, number 1, at least. We do want to start off the show by introducing everybody. I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR, the show. With me today, Mr. Crybaby Klump.
Howdy, y'all. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us.
Let's just start off at the top with the old USA, man. Let's just say it. Happy Veterans Day to all veterans of the day. We do want to give a special shout out to producer lady, resident Navy veteran of the show. She just put up her arms. I pointed the mic at her. She put her arms up. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. Where it's like, anything you want to say? And she goes, yeah, okay, well, that's not a thing you say. The other one we want to definitely give a shout out to is the newest member of the team, Sports Beard. He is also a vet, except this time he is an Army vet. So veteran, resident Army vet. So yeah, happy Veterans Day to all of them. If you check out WWE Community on Twitter, they have a bunch of different like veteran-based charities and stuff that they're working with that I didn't realize. So just kind of a cool thing.
Oh, yeah. No, it is something awesome. I've always loved with WWE is the amount of stuff that they do for the troops and for just whether it be the events that they would host in Iraq or just checking out bases during like a big pay-per-view. That's fucking tight, and that's such a cool thing to do, like to connect, break that monotony up.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%, love it. Apart from Veterans Day being a pretty badass day, everything else about this day can get fucked. We've had such a bad day that I'm ready to get drinking, Klump. While I'm already drinking, I want you to tell me what's in your glass.
I have a bottle, I totally already lost my southern accent, of sparkling water from Trader Joe's. Fizzy water, as Ted Lasso calls it.
Fizzy water, huh? Doesn't sound bad. Is it flavored?
No.
Nice, nice. Cheers to Leah Moonlight coming through already.
Hey.
With the old head in the arm. She's actually doing the exact thing that producer lady did when I said, say something to the crowd. I'm having Sky Vodka, and I'm having my own little fizzy water. Except I believe it's gone flat. It doesn't seem to be bubbly or fizzy at all. And it doesn't seem like the greatest. I didn't get the proportions right. So I'm going to be choking down this stuff throughout the show. I could have had tea. I could have put this in the fridge at any given moment. I probably didn't need to shake it a bunch this week. I don't know, man. Whatever. I'm having it. Sky Vodka and lime seltzer. I don't know if that has a name or anything, but it's
Vodka lime?
Vodka lime. There you go.
Vodka lime. I mean, when it's
clever.
flat, when it's not seltzer, it's just watered down lime juice and vodka.
It's basically lime juice with melted ice at that point.
It sounds like, honestly, if you drank the green method cleaner.
Yeah. So you've
like
had this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I used to drink a lot, folks. I don't anymore. But yes, I.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's get into some of the news, Klump. Unless you had something you wanted to shout out at the top of the show.
Nope. Let's keep going.
No? Yeah, let's just get through it. I don't know how long this show's going to go because I'll be honest, between AEW and NXT, not a ton of highlights if you ask me. But, we do have some stuff that was pretty cool and things to talk about. And there was a lot that happened. And one of the things that happened last week, which you were not here to talk about, so I wanted to make sure we open up the floor to you because you deserve to be part of the conversation just as much as anybody else. Klump, there was a whole lot of releases last week. Did you catch the names of them, or was there anybody you wanted to talk about specifically within them?
Last week I saw them. There was you nailed it. There was a lot in across the board. It seemed at all levels, NXT and main roster, and a fair amount of big names. I don't have the list in front of me, but it was pretty big. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
November 20. There we go. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so Nia Jax, that was a rather surprising one. We've not been the biggest fans of Nia, but given her family history with WWE, and given her history herself, the amount of time and story around her that she's had, that's kind of surprising. Carrying across the Scott.
No, wait, before you move on that one. So the rumor, the scuttlebutt, and she even put out a comment that did not exactly refute, but the rumor was that it had the release had to do with her vaccination status. That there's a number of people, according to the old Belzer, that at least a half a dozen people on this list were released strictly because of vaccination status, but we're not told it was vaccination status, whatever, because, hey, they don't leak that information. We've talked about that before. WWE never tells why. They just say who, and they always say budget cuts because it protects both sides. For one, if they want the side to ever come back, or two, doesn't want to, you don't need to hurt anybody's reputation if you don't have to. But both sides being protected. She did put out a comment after that was the rumor that was going around, the old scuttlebutt, as I say, that she had been experiencing mental health issues and asked for time off. She then was told to return at November 10th and asked for more time, and then said the next thing she heard was that she was released. So she was trying to frame it as a mental health concern. I talked about it a little bit yesterday, so I'll just say briefly what I thought of it, and I want to know what you think of it, or if you'd rather look up real quick what she said, because I'm sure if you look up Nia Jax's comments on release, you can find it quickly.
Yeah.
The feeling that I got as someone who struggles with that stuff is that it sounded like somebody who was getting dragged through the mud, trying to twist it around to get the heat off of them, and it didn't come off as very genuine to me personally, but I don't know, and if it is genuine, I wish her the absolute best. If it's not, it's a pretty shitty way to try and twist those things around. But also, I mean, who's to say, realistically, the amount of people I've seen claim things like religion and mental health when it just basically came down to, I don't want to, and they're trying to see who else gets protected in those things. So they say, yep. I remember people jobs I've had who needed Sunday off because it was a religious day, but you'd have conversations with them off the record and they couldn't be less religious. They just like to have Sundays off with their family, and they said that to help themselves get protected. So I'm just saying the mentality is out there.
No, I get you.
So I don't know where it actually was or what the stance is there. That was my gut feeling, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. I'm just here to talk about my gut feeling. Call it like I see it. Klump, I hope I bought you enough time. Go ahead.
No, I get you. I if it is mental health, always, we all will say we want that person to have the space and the ability to do it. But I mean, I could see it myself being vaccination status, because they've put out a lot of stuff that's been rather critical of it, and a fair amount of people in WWE who've been rather critical of it have had their papers given. I mean, I'll be shitty and say this. I'm sorry, but I don't feel you're a public figure to me. Yeah. You are a voice to a lot of people. If WWE were releasing people because of their vaccination status, I would throw a lot of positivity to them. I myself, like that, yeah. If you're not vaccinating and you're putting out information that's, false about it, and being a public figure, you're a representative of the company, and a fair amount of people have. I'm cool with you getting your walking papers.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, I don't even think it's that noble of a thing. If I'm being honest, I don't think the WWE sought out to be noble in this quest. Yeah. I do think that it's probably difficult to book talent based off of venues they're allowed to go inside of.
Yes.
So I think it's basically as simple as that.
And that's also fair. That's pragmatic.
Yeah. Because I mean, they also announced SummerSlam's going to be in Brooklyn. How are you going to put somebody in a story if you can't pay it off?
No, 100%. And that's fair too. I mean, I don't knock the pragmatism of it either. It's fair. But it also, to me, it's also probably covering asses if there's anything else. Is boy, it looks shitty when somebody says something that shitty over and over again. Whether
Yeah.
or not like it's you're a public figure, you're part of this thing, and boy, we don't need this heat.
Oh, 100%, man. 100%. Welcome, Miss Amanda Jane, to the show. She's made it to the
Yep.
dive bar of the IWC for a drink with her drinking buddies. Say hello, Amanda.
We're corporate Amanda again.
Corporate Amanda.
So you
Welcome.
get Coca-Cola. They'd never sponsor us, so I'm not even gonna say,
Yeah.
Are you wearing a Versace jacket? That is tight.
It looks like Versace, but it's
It
not.
does look.
Ah.
I
Got
bought
that
it on QVC.
Got that
Swear to God,
Versace
Ricky
on.
Sharks wears one of these things. I'm like, you shopping on QVC.
It's
Yeah.
Versace with an F.
Faux Sachi.
Yep. Amanda, I don't know if you heard what we were saying there. I know you and I talked about the releases last week, and we heard a little bit towards the end of our show about the other stuff. Did you have anything to weigh in on that before he moves on to the next person you want to talk about?
I got part of it, but who were you talking about?
Nia
Nia?
Jax, yeah.
And so she's saying it wasn't vaccination, that it was more like
She's
depression.
not saying that. She was saying that she had, because that was the other part of it, so forgive me. She was saying that she asked for time off for mental health, asked for extended time off, but also said at no point in time during my release did they mention my vaccination status. So she's saying I had no idea, and it was all about my mental health, making herself a martyr for the cause, I suppose. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, obviously, there's the East scapegoat on. Okay, oh yeah, she wasn't vaccinated, so okay, we're getting rid of these people. But I don't think really that was the case. I think that they don't really like to talk about mental health issues because I don't see that as something, that they do. I mean,
Really? Because they put out an entire documentary about Sasha Banks where she broke down how she had mental health issues and took extended periods of time off after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They made a documentary about it and put it on the network.
Yeah, and look at ACH. I mean, that whole thing when he had that meltdown about the shirt, and then when he, was given the boot. Yeah, I mean, he went through a lot of things, and it's something I think they sweep under the rug. So at least they had the COVID excuse. So
Okay, but I just said that they made a documentary about the mental health issues of Sasha Banks, and you said that yes, they want to sweep it under the rug. What I'm saying is that they highlighted her mental health issues in a sense, that she was having them and struggling with them, and she was working through them and stuff. I don't think they sweep it all under the rug. I think that there are issues that can occur in those same realms that are maybe secondary, that, like you said, could play a larger role later. But I don't think that by mental health alone that's what's going on. Especially if Nia Jax is the only one who said that, and the other people were reportedly, who knows, released because of vaccination status as well. That's my gut. I don't know.
yeah, hard to say. But I do have commentary on someone else that was released.
Go ahead. Let's start with that one.
I sent you a video, and I don't know if our audience had seen the video that Karrion Kross, who's now back to Killer Kross, had made yesterday and put up. It was pretty badass.
It was pretty dope.
What was great about it was it told a story, which was awesome, but it wrapped into him being released and what's going to happen. And the Twitter post was February 2nd. So obviously they gave him, he has the 90-day. So yeah. February 2nd, he's going to be a free man. And I think I know where he should be going. Is AEW, if Tony Kahn is smart.
Yeah, we'll see. Klump, I think Karrion Kross was also the person next on your list too you wanted to mention about, right?
I mean, I just want him to go somewhere and be happy. Like, I want him to be utilized and, go somewhere. I did find it funny. He tweeted out, somebody asked him about the helmet. He said, nobody wants that shit. Asked them, oh, do you, what are you going to do with it? He tweeted out, nobody wants that shit. I mean, he's a damn good hand. I'm curious to see where he goes. My next one really was going to be Keith Lee. I I want Keith Lee to go somewhere and do big things, because you saw those glimmers of him on a national stage and the hype around him and how much you can build up around him. I don't want him to go to AEW because I'm still stuck on it. Seems everyone that goes to AEW, I don't know. I've yet to see if this shit works out with Hangman. Maybe I'm gonna start saying some positive things, but it's been a rough ass journey to get here.
It has, and we'll talk about that when we get to the show in and of itself. I don't know where I want Karrion Kross, to be honest, or Killer Kross, or whatever Kross he wants to be. I love what he's doing. That dude is truly an artist. If you haven't seen the video, Klump, I'll send it to you so you can watch it. It's like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's fantastic. He's one of those guys where you see what he's doing, and it's just absolute art. There's a lot of people who do this because they love it and they have fun and they call it art. But what he does is like a higher level of art in every bit of the presentation. It's one thing to do art in the ring. He does art every step of the way to get to the ring as well. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
Anyone else on that list? Go ahead.
Back to Impact, though.
I don't know.
Is he
I
gonna
mean, I'm
world
not saying
rush?
he won't or will, but I have no idea.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, a lot of female talent. So Ember Moon, Mia Yim, Eva Marie. They do well with female talent, but it's like, Frankie Monet, quit giving people up, because these are great talent. They do a lot. You could build a division around these talent if you book them right.
Yeah.
Beyond that, Harry Smith wasn't a big surprise to me, because I kind of see him going to AEW.
I don't know. He was a surprise to me in that they just barely re-signed him a couple months ago. He never made his debut on TV. He's legacy. He's fantastic. He's a big dude. Like, he is a build-a-wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can do catch wrestling. He can do blood sport. He can do everything that you need a guy to do in there, and he pulls it off believably. Like, I was surprised because we never got to see him fail. We just didn't see him at all. It'd be one thing if he came out and just fell flat on his face. Like, as much as we love Taya Valkyrie, Frankie Monet's been quite a miss in NXT, and we've talked about it a few times.
Yeah.
When you see her get released, you go, that sucks. It never clicked.
Well,
but we never even got to say that about Harry.
I'll say this with Taya. Like, I get what you mean with Harry. That was like, we didn't see fuck all with him. Yeah. But Taya, I kind of wasn't surprised, because she felt so fucking out of sorts with the division. And she felt like a time machine in the worst way.
Yeah.
Like, in a weird way. And even in the ring, there was like never quite the chemistry that we've seen her historically have in Impact and such.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was one of those ones that, it was like a bummer, but you're also like, well, I just never saw it click, so I guess maybe a cut bait. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right answer, but
unfortunately, I agree with that, cut bait. Like, it's rough to say, but like, I felt watching them, like, it felt kind of too close to Attitude Wrestling to me. Like, it felt very, and I know they're a fantastic athlete. I know that they have a lot going on there, but it just, like, their moveset seemed so kind of focused on the body in a way that I sometimes was like, I don't know if I like this, versus the athletics. You get what I mean? Yeah.
100%, man. 100%. Anybody else on that list that you wanted to mention or talk about?
Wait a minute. Can we blame Robert Stone?
That's not. The other thing I saw was some bullshit too. I saw someone, they were doing that show at Dallas, and Stephanie McMahon posted a picture in front of this huge WWE title with the Dallas Stadium WrestleMania stuff on the side of it to be put up there so they could do this, like, it was like this WrestleMania announcement show. And someone posted it, and they're all like, I wonder who had to get released to pay for this monstrosity. And I was like, that's not how budgets work.
No.
They didn't. They weren't building this and said, well, I guess we better fire a couple of the women. It's like, no, that's and the company isn't going to budget that way. Even if the company was not making money, that's not how you would budget that stuff. So it's just one of those weird narratives that's out there where They say budget cuts, but they're making profits. Correct, because those aren't the same conversation.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm
Or
a
they'll ask
business
Cameron
major,
Grimes.
but Christ, that's just not the same thing. I'm sorry, Amanda. Go ahead.
Yeah. Ask Cameron Grimes for the money. He can loan it. He's got
Yeah.
it. Beating people
Yeah.
at poker. Just saying.
Well, I was gonna say, like, and to that point with this, like, there are arguments being made about the situation, about how people are going, about who's being released, and finances. You could make some arguments for things being a little bit weird, rough, shitty, questioning it. We are, but I feel like there's just such an over, like there. It's like JFK conspiracists, looking at every single thing, trying to find something, and it's like you've gone 20 steps beyond like the story narrative. It's the story that would make sense,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see there was a really good documentary on Netflix about the JFK one, about how they think it was the secret security guy behind him,
Yep.
and his gun going off accidentally when they hit the gas.
Yep.
I love
Yep.
that one.
The workplace accident. I love that theory. It's so silly to me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
buddy.
And it makes
Like,
so
just-
much sense. And of course you try to hide everything because you're like, fuck, we can't just say the Secret Service accidentally shot the president in the head.
Exactly.
That's a real fucking
Oh.
PR nightmare.
Just, oh no.
Yeah. Fuck. Literally your only job. He was the first you have one job guy.
What's funny too, so beyond that, I don't know if they went into this. I love that we're talking about this during a wrestling podcast. All of the more tenured Secret Service officers, evidently the day before, went out and got fucking hammered. A lot of them came to work for the parade with like an hour's sleep at most, still hungover
Groggy.
and or pissed drunk.
Yeah.
And so the guy doing it was rather new to the job. His job typically was kind of like making sure the vehicles were working well. So it's like, let's give him a brand new gun, which has reliability issues at this point that are documented. And then
So
this
good.
happens, they hit the gas and fuck.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
Ah, damn it, Terry!
You could die. You could kill the president.
Cheers to Just in Time coming through, saying cheers to the Dive Bar friends. That's us, man. He is the Don of the IWC. If you guys are not familiar with Just in Time 211, he is the curator of our side of the IWC. Go ahead and give him a follow. Anyone else on that list you wanted to hit up, Klump?
Nah, I think that's it for me.
All right, cool. Let's see. There's some other stuff going on. Becky Lynch had some comments today. I don't know if you guys want to talk about any of that.
Oh, I don't know what she said today.
Same.
All right.
What did she say?
I'll read it. Let me pull it up. Also on that YouTube. Yeah, if you want to, dude, hey, Klump, and everybody in the dive bar. Remember I tell you that if I make shit up enough, I'll become a wrestling journalist?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Guess what I did today?
Make
I
shit up.
I made my Wrestling Inc. debut. Yeah, if you check out Wrestling Inc., I'm on there with Nick Hausman as we report the news. This is great. You know the first thing I did? Shit on Charlotte.
fucking proud of you.
What
Yeah,
a
let's see if they ever
journalist.
bring me back. No, it was really fun, though. It was a really good time. I'm a big fan of Nick Hausman. He's a good dude. And so I had a lot of fun. And it was just it really felt like a couple wrestling fans just shooting the shit and talking about the rumors that you hear. But so one of the things is Becky Lynch had an interview and she said these things. Let's see. She was asked directly about Charlotte Flair, and she said, we don't talk anymore. We don't talk. So all I say is the locker room needs a hero sometimes. Because this was about the title exchange thing that was weird. She goes, sometimes there's somebody's got to be a hero. I'm all right being that hero. That's what I'll say on the matter. And then asked if the heat between her and Charlotte would make it difficult to work together, and she says 100% more difficult. She goes, yeah, that's the thing. When you've got two people that are wanting to work together to make magic, then you make magic. Sometimes when there's hostility, when you can't trust the person, then you never know what's going to happen. You always have to be on guard. It's like a game of chess. You have to be thinking 2 steps, 3 steps, or 4 steps ahead. What are you going to do? What are they going to do? How am I going to handle it? If they do this, if they do that, whatever. And then she says business is built on trust of working together. That's the art of it, the beauty of it. If I make you look good, you make me look good. It's an art, beautiful art. I love more than anything. If people don't know how to make that art, then it becomes difficult, becomes tricky, and you never really get the full potential. But there's intrigue there too, because we never know what's was this meant to happen? Was that not meant to happen? What's going to go down? There's interest both ways. One way, it's beautiful, pure art of pro wrestling. The other way is a shit show. So we'll see what happens. And asked directly, do you trust Charlotte Flair? She said no. So it's just kind of interesting. It's a little bit kind of like we've talked about. The idea of combating against Charlotte seems to be a little bit more than just the idea of being in a match against Charlotte. It seems to be, according to this at least, that there's difficulty trusting that things are going to go the way that they're supposed to go in ring, and that she's willing to stand up for that in the back. I mean, we've talked about it a few times. I talked about it recently that it seemed to me that Charlotte was purposefully 2 steps behind so she can meet someone halfway and make it look like she's saving them. That also falls right into play with this concept of, are they going to do this or that? Are they going to be there? And if not, what am I going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything you want to say about any of those comments there?
No.
I don't.
No.
As a policy, talk to journalists.
Yeah, that makes sense. You took journalism school, so you know.
Yeah, we're a bunch of fucks.
I do think it's pretty cool, though. I like that she's being asked directly, and that if it's not kayfabe, it's really cool that she feels invincible enough to just fucking say it like that. If it is kayfabe, then it's a pretty cool way of doing that. You know what I mean? I think it's win-win.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I agree with that.
Yeah. Let me see. I don't think I had much else for news. I feel like there was something that came up. No, not really. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Nothing else I really needed to hit on. Yeah. I think I'm ready to get into the shows a little bit. Are you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amanda, was there anything that specifically you wanted to bring up? I'm just making sure, because you see some of the new stuff too. I know you've been busy. I know you're back to work and all that, but I didn't know if there's something come up in last week.
It's very hard to watch 27 hours of AEW.
And then keep up on the news as well. Yeah. Well,
but I kind of did some. But no. But I got to see everything. So.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if there was like a news thing you want to bring up. So right before we get into the segments, the shows, if we break it down a little bit, I do want to say Flow Say Coffee is specialty grade coffee with L-theanine and raw cacao. For productivity and creativity. Gives you better energy, focus, and mood than a regular cup of coffee while decreasing negative side effects like anxiety and blood pressure. This stuff is fantastic. Chocolatey goodness. Gives you alertness, state of mind. And if you go to newwave.co, NOOWAVE.co, and put in promo code CHEERS, then you can get yourself 10% off your first bag of any subscription or your entire order if you decide to just buy all the bags up front. What a Christmas gift would it be if you gave someone 24 bags of New Wave coffee and you only paid 90% of that bill? You know what I mean? I don't know how many bags you get free in that because I'm not good at math.
Don't look here.
like a true journalist, a liberal arts major if ever there was one.
100%. Let's talk about it. Let's just talk. I mean, I was telling Klump at the top of the show, Amanda, I don't know if this is going to be a long show because I just don't think there was enough on the bone for me to really dive in on all this stuff. And then plus just the day itself has been a shit day for me. So I don't know if I'm as engaged as I should be. But the thing is I'm going to be here, and I'm here because I do this because I love it. And if I'm going to have a shit day, I'm going to have a good night, right?
Right.
And at least I'm going to be with my drinking buddies and have a few sips and, get through it.
Yep.
On AEW, I tried to watch Dynamite, and it really wasn't easy, so I didn't watch a lot of it. I fast-forwarded through stuff. On Rampage, the only thing I checked out was the CM Punk and Eddie Kingston stuff. If there's other stuff in Rampage you want to talk about, let's start with the other stuff. If there's nothing else you want to talk about, then we can go straight into that. But let's start with Amanda. Was there anything on Rampage not Punk and Kingston that you want to talk about?
To be honest, after that happened, it was like, I don't want to watch anything else. Mm-hmm. You should let them just beat the shit out of each other for free.
Was that not the end of the show?
No, is it the second segment? Punk
oh my God.
Damn it.
Oh, that is
So
awful.
it killed momentum, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's.
'Cause
There's
I
no
mean,
way that didn't destroy the whole fucking atmosphere. Because you see that, and then it's like, what are you supposed to follow that up with?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about it, and actually, it's more talking about what happened and talking about Eddie than like whatever with it. But I think it's again Tony Kahn or somebody. I don't know who it is, but they're burying Eddie Kingston like he's like some doofus or something.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I don't disagree with you entirely, but I think that the outcome of this could change that. Because I'll tell you this. Let's get into it, because it doesn't sound like there was anything else on Rampage you want to talk about. I'm going to agree with you that they've been burying Kingston like a doofus ever since the Sparkler incident, and he has not recovered in my mind. He is a badass talker, and he comes off believable until you realize he never wins his fights. Then you go, oh, he's just a shit talker who can't back it up. Not the best place to be. If he loses this match, which he probably will, it's going to solidify him as it doesn't matter how much shit he talks or how much the crowd's behind him. He is a jobber. You know what I mean? But if he wins this one, then it could really give him a sway of momentum back that I think he really needs, personally.
But do you think that they would have Punk lose to him?
No, I
don't think so.
Klump, what do you think?
Yeah. Same. I don't see them having Punk lose to him. I don't see them having Punk lose to anyone. Which is what frustrates me here. Initially, it's like, okay, you see something in Eddie, you're putting him in a spot like this, which is amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna feed someone to Punk, not yet. You're not gonna feed Eddie to him. Why not give Eddie a streak against people who have something? I'm gonna piss off someone here, but have Punk take the have Punk beat Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Because Ricky can take that.
Yeah.
It can work. Have Kingston beat Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be holding the FTW title for sure.
Yeah,
And that should be a whole storyline about how Ricky lost it to Eddie. You can build all sorts of shit on that.
Yes. You're not going to have him beat Punk. Have him beat Jungle Boy. Have him beat some people there. And that could put some stink on Jungle Boy, too, because Jungle Boy, he's kind of middling and down. But him with Punk, yeah, he talks well, but I'm sorry, it's not going to work out. Plus, I don't know if Punk can work with his style. He's a brawler, and he's passionate. You need somebody who can work with that. Yeah. And I don't think that's CM Punk.
Well, I have my opinions on who's going to be the one that's going to deliver him the loss. And you heard it here first. The guy looking over my shoulder.
Yeah. She wants it to be
cool. They're gonna do that. It's a matter of time.
And they very well could. What I'm thinking is that the shock value of an Eddie Kingston beating a CM Punk would be so much more to cash in on than Colt, because Colt also is just a dude in the Dark Order who barely does shit with them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But most people know.
Well, yeah.
That wants to, and especially when Punk came back in his little speech, I want to, settle some things with, people in the back.
Right.
Well,
but it would all be for no reason, is what I'm saying. Like, even if Colt gets that win, there's nothing to do with Colt after that. He got the win. Where with Kingston, if he got the win, he can sway him back, and it'll bring a shock value to AEW that, quite frankly, they don't have. They don't have shock value wins almost ever. There's never been a win that we've been like, oh my God, I can't believe they went that way. It's all been like, yep, this was the move. Yeah, this is what I thought was going to happen. Yeah, I'm glad they did that because I would have done the same. Do something that makes people go, oh shit. And not just bring in somebody who's recently been released from a company so people go, oh shit, they're here now. Yeah. I can do something now. Because also people, I think the question right now is, who will CM Punk lose to and when? How long is this streak going to go on for? I don't think the belief is that he's going to be losing anytime soon. So do it now and have people go, oh shit, he only had a couple matches and he lost to Kingston? Or
they'll probably go back to Chicago. That's the only reason why I would think it would be Cole, because you get that whole crowd that's going to be mixed and whatnot. I will be there. I will totally be there for that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anti-Bob, but he'll probably be the only one not wearing a CM Punk shirt, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's stupid.
Yeah.
So all that aside, us all hoping that Eddie Kingston wins, but not a single drop of belief that he will. What do you think of the segment in and of itself? Because I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this segment between CM Punk and Eddie Kingston, this specific Rampage segment, because we're going to get to Dynamite in a minute, that it was like the greatest back and forth, the greatest moment on the mic, perfect in every way I've heard. And I understand that hype. I understand the love of it. And I thought Eddie Kingston did fucking fantastic work here. I loved the frustration that it looked on CM Punk's face, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think CM Punk's that good. I don't think he's that good to fake that. I think there was part of it that was getting underneath his skin. I think CM Punk was also smart enough to lean into it, and that's when he started going in on Eddie Kingston to get the crowd to boo him a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was a legitimate frustration there from CM Punk. Maybe I'm getting worked, and if I'm getting worked, I love it. My favorite thing is getting worked. Let's start with Klump. What did you think of the segment in and of itself?
In and of itself, awesome. I would like to see. Again, I'm still stuck on. This is a really cool thing. Every time Eddie comes out, it's great. I do myself like CM Punk on the mic. I think he works well. He's got the fans behind him, so fantastic segment. The part that I hang on is what's the end game of this?
Yes.
I get stuck on. This is going to end in Eddie being fed to Punk. Punk doesn't need it. Eddie really doesn't need another loss. If Punk loses to Eddie, that would be amazing. And if they wanted to do that, that would be something I would to the moon praise in AEW.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're not going to do it. Because it's fucking stupid to do it.
I don't know. Amanda, what do you think?
Well,
What do you think of the segment?
Well, it was good when you first watch it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, and that was my impression, especially when Eddie had that line of, just quit and come back in 7 years or whatever.
My favorite line cool. Actually was he goes, "Nobody in the back cares that you're here or want you here, and they're afraid to tell you, but I'm not."
Yep.
I was like, fucking loved that, because there was a moment in Punk's eyes where he looked at him like, that might be true.
Yeah, no, I noticed that. Now, when I watched it again, I'm kind of like, okay, it's two dudes in a pissing contest. But what happened was my attention drifted to when the refs ran out. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't see Aubrey Edwards ever trying to hold back like an Eddie or a CM. No, it's like, why are you out there? I don't care if you have the stripes and you're the zebra. Don't care. No. Yeah. You can maybe do Marco's stunt, but even then I don't, No.
I agree. So let's go to that part. I thought the talking was phenomenal. I thought the breakdown, starting with the headbutt and everything after, was pretty fucking phony. The headbutt didn't get anywhere near. The headbutt looked awful. It looked soft and weird. And then they started throwing a bunch of phony punches. They didn't get anywhere near making any form of connection. And I started losing interest. And I was like, fuck. Because I felt like the pull apart didn't need to happen. You know what I would have rathered happen? When Punk gets back in the ring and sees him, I wish Punk would have stepped out of the ring and then just spit at Eddie and walked off. Uh-huh. Whether he hit him or not. I'd rather see that. And I'd rather see Eddie get fucking fuming. You know what I mean? And do crazy Eddie shit. Can you imagine he got spit on and he just starts laughing and looking at him and be like, oh, you want to die. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just have him do crazy fucking, I'm not going to fall into your trap, but you are definitely going to feel the reaction to that.
I would love, you threw that, I would love Punk spits on Eddie. Eddie's fuming, says some crazy shit. And then for some reason, there's a pull apart, keeps them separate. Where security comes out and you're like, the fuck is this? And then Tony comes out and Tony wants to be part of AEW, comes out and says, I'm protecting my investment.
Yeah.
He tries to separate. That That'd be cool. I'd support that. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Make Tony a character in this. Yeah. Like,
oh yeah.
Down.
It went on
No.
too long, and the referees were too feeble. The idea that Aubrey Edwards alone held back Eddie Kingston, I wasn't buying it. Just because Eddie was trying to look like he was fighting to get past her, and I could understand. It's more believable to me if Aubrey was in his face similar to the way Ruby Riott was on Dynamite than if she's holding him around the waist like she was. Because she was holding him like she was holding him back.
Yeah.
Where with Ruby, she was talking to him like, I can't hold you back, but I can talk you down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a difference. And I thought the pull apart looked awful. At one point, CM Punk broke away by simply walking forward and everyone letting go. And he didn't look like hurried or forced at all. He just like walked slowly forward and it's like, oh, he broke away. And I was like, oh. That's what I mean. That stuff didn't have to happen because I was so invested already that all that stuff looking so phony didn't have to happen and it took too long. And something Klump was talking about before we went on, I also felt in Dynamite, the parking lot, not parking lot pull apart went on for so long. Like it felt like it must have been 15 minutes and it probably was like 5 or 6, but they were just standing there yelling at each other, doing nothing for so long. And Klump, you had a comment about that.
Well, repeat it. Sorry.
The length of time that some of these segments are taking.
Oh yeah, no. It's not specific, but time and again, it feels like, and this is AEW versus WWE. These segments that they do, they get focused on the hype of this is going to be a cool moment, and then I don't know. I imagine it's everyone in the room who's wrestling fans get super hyped, writing for it. They add all these moments to it, and there's nobody there to say, "Cool, cut it. Cool, we need to get rid of." Like, you got 20 lines here. We need 7 because no one's willing to do that, and then so many segments just go long, and conversely, no one's writing or nobody's present for other segments that could be great story, and then we're like, oh, well, that'd be awesome. Like, we're by the way, where's Ricky? By the way, where's Taz? Well, maybe not.
We could have had a Ricky segment instead. We had 40 minutes of this, but. I will say that on that point, and I'm going to get to you, Amanda, I swear to God, their pacing is such that it feels like they're in the back waiting for their thirst to be quenched instead of stopping, leaving you wanting more. You know what I mean? The pacing doesn't feel like they're saying like, okay, let's cut it because I don't feel like it's done yet. And they're going like, okay, that went well. That played out all the way. And then they're stopping, and it's felt like they're giving me too much. You know what I mean? Make me want more. They're doing the opposite. They're giving me so much that now I don't want any of this. In a sense, you know what I mean? I've had my fill. They're waiting for themselves to be, like you said. No one's telling them like, "Hey, cut it now," because it doesn't feel like enough. They're waiting till they go, yeah, that felt like a good amount. Amanda, what do you think?
Sorry, technical difficulty.
Yeah, it looks like you spilled all over yourself.
Turned off my power strip.
Oh.
No. Yeah, see, corporate Amanda. Anyways, my thing is, when you do segments like this, because like I said, it was the second one, so you got to see Bryan Danielson win. Okay, duh, he's gonna win. Who did he wrestle? I'm looking at it right now. He wrestled Anthony Bowens. Now, I'm beginning to like the Acclaimed. I don't know why. Okay. I just am, because I think it's a breath of fresh air with all this stupid garbage that we see. Because I'm really kind of hating Jurassic Express at this moment. They irritate me. Best Friends is kind of irritating me too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's very boring. It's very blah,
Why did Orange Cassidy come out with Rocky Romero?
Once they did this, because the next segment after that, and I mean, I wouldn't want to follow that thing. Right. It was Jurassic Express and Superclick. So I get why they were there, but you know what? It was so unmemorable that, I'm like, you know. And then the next
Yeah.
one they did was, you know, one of the women's tournament things. And again, because it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just was like, oh, okay. There was nothing of, let me see what's, you know, what's going on with things. And then we got Johnny Hungy and Adam Cole, which actually that kind of was interesting, but you know what? My attention was so gone that I couldn't do it because they took everything away from me, because now I'm like more excited to see what happens next. I mean, are they gonna have Eddie walk through like some fake pane of glass or something? I mean, I don't know. Like anything could happen with Eddie, you know, the sparkler incident. It could be anything. So that's where it's putting me right now. And I guess maybe because also a lot of the things are getting it's the same thing and it's getting stale, you know?
Hey, can I ask you, why did Orange Cassidy come out with Rocky Romero? I didn't understand the connection, but I also don't stop any. I haven't stopped to watch anything Orange Cassidy's done in a long time.
Hold on.
Oh, I don't like the look of that. While she's figuring that out, Kuro is coming through. Cheers to Kuro. Always good to see you. And cheers to Grim Reaper. Hello. She's not back yet, still, huh?
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. Oh, she said no. So that's how you know she can't hear me.
But I honestly just I'm unsure. Like a lot of this stuff, like we are really just not seeing them, you know, and like okay, like or we get stuck on something from long ago and then we bring it back and we're not doing shit with it. So I don't really give a fuck about the Best Friends or Orange Cassidy, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was hard. And I mean, even watching FTR with Pac, and I don't even remember who Pac was tagged with, but I wasn't that super invested. And then there was this Fuego 2 business that was Cody Rhodes with neck makeup on to be a fake masked wrestler. And I saw someone say if they use this to get Fuego 2 the world championship so Cody avoids the stipulation, they're like, I'll love AEW forever. And I was like, that's your thing? Like, that's what you want, is a weird fucking... Remember when Hogan was the Blue Patriot or some shit?
Oh, not Mr.
America?
Yeah, Mr. America.
Or American Patriot or some shit. Whatever that was. No one wanted to see him with the title.
Yeah. So Cody's going to come out. Oh, they'll bring back that amputee guy.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Because I remember with when Hogan was Mr. America, that was Zach Gallen came out.
Zach Gallen,
they'll bring
that's
out
his name,
yeah. Mm-hmm. They'll have that him or that to try and one up WWE, that legless guy that was in the first Battle Royal. Yeah.
We can do better than that. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. So let me ask you this too, because I don't know if we're ever going to see her again. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Do you think they put the title on Page here? And if they do, would it even matter anymore?
I think it would matter if they do. Okay. If they don't do it, I'm gonna be rather upset, honestly, because if they don't put that title on Hangman Page after all this shit, then what was it for? Like, was this to me? Then it's just okay. This was just a thing for Kenny and the boys. Yeah. Hangman is a star that you've built, and I'll argue that they built him. Yes, he had a lot of New Japan and Ring of Honor and stuff like that, but he got built up through being the Elite and through AEW. He needs it. He needs to win it, and if he doesn't win it, he's I don't know. Because also what's frustrating to me is if you don't put it on him, I feel that the state of the wrestling industry is really hurt. Because
I agree with that.
We are seeing, and I'm going to shit on WWE here. I'm going to shit on everyone here.
Go ahead. Hit it.
WWE is releasing people at an alarming rate,
Yeah.
and I do feel a worry that stories will stagnate more, because there have been weeks watching. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
They're here. We could do more, and that's WWE. Impact doesn't have a heck of a platform. They got some stuff there, but they're not. I don't see them becoming something amazing overnight. They don't have the ability to. And everyone else is kind of sitting below that, unless there is investment where we have another big wrestling promotion at a big level. Then your two homes right now are WWE and AEW, and if you can't grow talent and put them in a spot where they can do things, then what are we doing here? We're just going to keep titles on the boys, and whatever talent that was at a great level who decided to come over for that pop is there. And I don't really give a shit about that, you know?
That's a really good point. I think that's a good call. Here's my concern about it is that I hear you saying that Hangman Page is AEW built, but I'd argue the AEW, or not AEW, or the AEW has booked Hangman Page so poorly that the only reason he's still over is because he's fan built. He's got the fans behind him by hell or high water. The fans are chanting for him regardless of his absolutely terrible booking. His booking has been so bad, it's completely made me think that he's pointless, right? And my concern when I said would it even matter is they've waited so long to do this because they're so hell-bent on doing their long-term storytelling, regardless if it's good, bad, indifferent, or if it even makes any kind of sense. It just, as long as it takes a long time, that's all that matters, it feels like. If they put the title on Page now, he will be still the number 8 guy in the company with the number 1 title. I think that by putting the title on Page now, as much as I want that to happen, you could conceivably be devaluing the belt, or you could end up in a situation, and people are going to fucking not like this, like when CM Punk was champion. He was a champion, but the title matches were in the middle of the card. He was a champion, but the main event was other guys. He was a champion, but no one was talking about him as a champion. They were talking about the stories going on around and outside of him.
Yeah.
I want Page to be more important. And my concern is that they've waited so long and other people have come in pre-built that now, title or no title, Page is barely top 10. And that sucks because he should have been their number 1. He should have been their first champion in my book.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that if they put the title on him, it could be huge for him. But time will tell if it's as big as it could be. You know what I mean?
I'll give you that. I'll agree with that. Title or no title, this could have been something a lot more. But I have hope. If they put it on Page, I think it can matter because, he is a fan-built person. You know, and I'll concede that point. Yeah, he's fan-built, but
so
you
is
gotta,
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, you gotta.
So it's not a bad thing. Sorry, go ahead.
You gotta keep them up. You gotta keep building them and invest in that. You can't just do it and disappear because, I'll be up front, I feel like Kofi was one of the weaker pushes of that. You know?
Okay.
They put that belt on him. He was fan built. That was awesome, and he had a few decent pushes, but boy, they threw it out. It felt rather rapidly off of him. To me, like that's my argument. Or there's been fan favorites that get it and then they disappear with it, and like it's like a charity thing. It feels like.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the case with Page, and if they can do this, then they can do it with other people. Maybe it shows that they can finally fucking listen. That's my hope.
That's true too. Amanda, I don't know if you heard anything. How you doing? Welcome back.
Because that's why I had to restart my computer and my audio. But I heard the last part of it, and you know, I love Adam Page. You know, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's almost too little, too late. And because the elite stuff has gotten way out of hand, so obnoxious, it doesn't really mean anything unless you have something that's going to pay off that it means something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I made a tweet yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that after that signing, I'm like, you know what? People aren't going to like this opinion. But, like, if you look back on the whole BTE thing, because that's when I used to watch, the only true friend he had was Marty.
Yeah.
So I know people are like, oh, they're not going to bring him, but it's true. And so if you were to go that route, yeah. And that's how you can bring him in. But I mean, who knows? Yeah. I mean, I feel for, Hangman, it's like, yeah, you have the crowd right now because they're just, Kenny Omega's just lost them because he's so weird now. And it's not, New Japan Kenny Omega. That's what people love, was that. So I think that Hangman, if he does get it, which he probably will, that's my prediction, it's not going to be on him for a very long time.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
what do you do with the number 10 guy who's your champion? Get it to your number 1 guy.
You know what's going to happen is, I think Danielson's going to win that tournament, which is opportunity to go against, the AEW champ.
And then you have 2 baby faces there. Yeah. Do you think that? Well, here's something you could do that would be notable and not fucking garbage, but maybe it's just not the best thing either. Like, none of us have ever claimed to be good at any of this, but what if Daniel Bryan wins? He's in his match with Paige because it's a two babyface match. MJF costs Daniel Bryan the match because he'd rather try to take the title off Paige than Daniel Bryan, but then you end up with a feud of Daniel Bryan and MJF, and now you have Daniel Bryan given the opportunity to lose to an MJF and a Paige back to back in a way that could maybe build the feud of MJF and Hangman Page.
Didn't think of it that way.
It wouldn't be trash, but I do think that the MJF and Daniel Bryan rivalry would be talked about much more than anything else Hangman Page would be doing while he's waiting for MJF to get ready.
Yeah.
Which goes back to my point of I wish they had built him up to be a stronger star. Real quick in the chat, GR Lunar says, oh, hi, Klump.
Oh, hey, homie.
And Bishop says, hey, guys, just popping by to say cheers. Probably just listen in the background. We appreciate you, Bishop. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate your support. If you guys go to TerribleWrestlingTakesPodcast.com, TWTakesPodcast.com/TWTs, and put in promo code DIVEBAR, you can get some 25% off t-shirts. And now is the holiday season, and what better way to tell somebody that you love them by a Terrible Wrestling t-shirt. So TWTakesPodcast.com/TWTs, promo code DIVEBAR. You can get a whole bunch of shit fucking colors too, dude. You decorate your whole tree with TWTs. What do you think, Klump?
I'm not mad at it. I just want to see progress.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not mad at anything we're throwing out here, and I'm not. Yeah, we're not great at this, but I want to see stuff done.
Yeah.
I want to see this belt off of Kenny.
That's true.
It's knocking Kenny, but it's also, to me, it's knocking this iteration of Kenny. The dude's still good in matches. This iteration, I kind of think it's played its course, and maybe it's time for it to end. I'm really tired of Kenny and all the people. If I were to draw a parallel to it, we're well into NWO 2000.
Yeah.
We're NWO when Shawn Michaels appeared randomly. Like, oh, fuck, why?
Yeah, what are we doing? 100%.
Shawn, I like you. Why are you here?
Yeah. And now you got Bobby Fish joining the Elite and all that.
Don't
Bishop
start
says,
me on
what a
that one.
commercial. Dude, I'm skilled at this.
Don't start me on that one. That's way ahead of where we're going.
That's a good point.
But
That's a good point.
that you bring it up.
Bishop's talking shit on my commercial skills. Dude, they'll eventually find you if they type in all those things at once.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, don't get
I
mad
don't
at
know,
me
they
because
have
your
trolls.
Google doesn't work.
True.
Yeah, but I mean that's all I really had about AEW was those two things. I'll be honest with you though, out of Full Gear, when I look at the entire card, the only match I actually definitely want to see is Daniel Bryan versus Miro.
Yeah.
That's the one I
It'll be a
want to
good-ass
see
match.
the most. Hangman Page versus Kenny, I will know what if I want to see it after it's over and I hear how it ended.
Yeah.
But if Kenny wins, I have no desire to see how they did it at all. Doesn't make any impact on me. I have no desire. If Page wins, I'd probably want to see that match to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Kingston and Punk, I kind of don't want to see it just because I don't want to see Eddie Kingston just get his ass beat again.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from a dude, regardless of what you want to say about being trained to be in the UFC ring, I still think in every bit of my heart that Eddie Kingston could beat the shit out of CM Punk regardless of all the training he's been through. If there's one thing we learned from CM Punk is he can't fight people who know how to fight. And I think that Eddie Kingston can fucking fight. Even with all the shit I've talked about with Eddie Kingston, I would cry if he got in my face.
Yeah,
Just cry. I'd say, please just stop when you've had enough. Because I won't be able to stop you. If someone screams stop, please stop. But continue to beat me as long as you need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I feel it would go down. I mean, Kingston, he would look me in my face and I'd be like, fuck, you've heard some of that? Fuck. And I'd say, okay, do you want my hands down, or how do you want to do this? And can you please stop when someone else is crying, not just me? Because then you'll know it's been too much. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm really, really sorry, Mr. Kingston. I didn't mean to upset you.
Yeah. I was drunk and talking shit, dude. It wasn't like I meant it. But if CM Punk got on my face, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Fucking keep pretending. I wouldn't even flinch if Punk got on my face.
Yeah.
You know who else I think can't fight? MJF. I don't think he can fight.
No. He can't even wrestle. Come on now. He barely can. All he is nah. I'm better than you. No, because you really don't wrestle. And when you do, it's really basic and elementary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I won't go that far, but I will say I love
will
that you
go
said
that
that.
It's true. I watch this shit.
Hey, it's
Even
the
on
dive
indies.
bar.
Yeah.
Don't forget,
Yeah.
we're in the dive bar. We're just having drinks and poking fun, guys.
Yeah. But, if you like them, hey, good for you.
Yeah.
If you don't, you know what I'm getting at. Yeah.
When I saw that clip of where he saw that dude in the audience and pulled his hat off and threw it, I found out later he knows that guy, and I went, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if he did that to me, even with the security around him, I'd be like, I could probably knock him out faster than they can get to me.
I'd slap him hard.
Not that I don't think they wouldn't get me, but I think I could knock him out before security grabbed me. I think I could get a couple good strong ones in, and I feel like he's a glass jaw kind of a dude, which is why he only does that shit around a ton of security and to people he knows, because I don't think he can fight.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not for a second. Not even playing. I think I could beat MJF in a regular fight.
Yeah.
How you doing, Klump?
I think I agree. I mean, it's not hard to.
Klump's like, I'm not trying to start no trouble, but you should definitely pick a fight with him.
I'll be sitting off to the side, like screaming "World Star" as I record it with a shaky phone.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
Oh, shit.
I love it. Anything else on AEW? We'll see how it goes. Full Gear's this weekend. They call Dynamite the go-home show, but they say Rampage is the show to watch, so that tells me that I don't give a fuck.
Well, I didn't watch it this evening, and I was looking at the results, and to be quite honest with you, yeah. It's not worth watching.
All right.
Or the results for tomorrow, or what they're going to do tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Just doesn't seem like much.
I don't know, but I don't think it's worth watching.
Womp womp.
Klump's like,
know.
I was going to go out of my way.
We're going to get like Christian versus, I don't know, someone. It's gonna be boring. It's the same old shit. It's like what I've been saying. Quit doing the same old shit. That's all.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Bishop in the chat. Oh, go ahead, Klump.
There's a great YouTube video I love that sometimes AEW makes me think of. It's a parody of like a car dealership, and it's like, well, fuck your wife, and it's just like the classic car things, but it's just being an asshole. And sometimes, like, as we talk about AEW, it's like, yeah, guess what? You're gonna watch it because fuck you. Welcome to AEW. Fuck everything about you. Like,
Yeah, like that. Almost kind of the Kinko's thing with Dave Chappelle. Because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah.
You know what Eddie Kingston reminds me of at this point? Let me pull it up. I had it just the other day, so I know it can't be far. Here it is. It was. I'll post it on my Twitter too, because fucking. This is what I'm gonna post it. If Eddie Kingston loses, I'm gonna post it. But there's this meme where there's this dude and he's like shirtless, and it says, "Kick my ass to impress your girlfriend." And he goes, "Are you tired of your girlfriend thinking you're a fucking pussy? Well, for just a small fee, you can prove her wrong and show how much of a badass you truly are. Just set up a time and location for me to come harass your girlfriend or significant other, and then bam, you come in and rock my shit. Weekdays $50, weekends $60." And I was like, that's fucking Eddie Kingston in a nutshell in AEW. If he loses this match, whoop my ass to impress your friends. All right. Bishop does say, Marsh talking a lot of shit tonight. Is it a whiskey night at the dive bar? I'm having vodka, dude, but if you want to peep my Instagram, you can figure out why I'm not in a good mood. But
in my world, vodka rules. So.
Oh yeah, vodka will do it. Yeah. Vodka sneaks up harder than whiskey. I'll be honest with you. Whiskey to me, I can handle all night long, but vodka will sneak up on you in a way where it's all like, all right, I guess we're fighting.
Me, no. Yeah, that's not me. I think whiskey does that for me. Or actually, yeah, it does. But what kind of vodka? Because that makes a difference too.
Sky.
Why are you 24 and like a sorority girl?
It was on sale, man. You don't hit up the sales? Dude, almost everything I buy is whatever's on the best sale.
Dude, you have to get classy like vodka. I'm sorry that, Stoli sends me things. But I'm sorry. But no, I would pay my money for Stoli. I would pay. Yeah. And, it was really sad was a couple of years ago, Trader Joe's was selling some of the Stoli, the flavored ones, for $8.99 a bottle. Oh boy. I stocked up on that. The apple one was great with Hawaiian punch. I'm just saying.
I hear you. Huh?
All I'm saying is Sky Vodka, did it come with like a test for the clap and like
no, if you have it, you got it. It comes with a receipt for the clap.
Or it'll kill it.
Like it like
you used it as COVID-19 on your furniture, wipe things down.
No, just get stuff
with that.
How far off Fabuloso is it?
Fabuloso? Oh yeah, well, with the lime, that makes a difference.
Yeah, then it's just method cleaner, like I said earlier.
Yeah. Takes that my IG is suspended. I bet you he's looking for Ref Marsh, not Marsh Ref. Because that Ref Marsh guy, I don't know. For whatever it was, someone took Ref Marsh before I got it. I was pissed. So my Instagram's Marsh Ref and my Twitter's Ref Marsh. It's fucked up.
That's why. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like an suspended account, whatever. But Lunar says Sky Vodka, woof. Come on, man. Of all people, Lunar, come on. Of all people. That dude, there's no way.
Well, it's better than Smirnoff. Or that one that had the different flavors like cotton candy and
Nine bananas, Ciroc. Vodka just generally is like a...
Oh, that's funny. Because Marsh Ref on Twitter was suspended and Ref Marsh on Instagram was suspended is what you're thinking of. You have to type it in on Instagram. That link doesn't actually work. I should do a little line.
I've had people ask me for mine. And I said, I got
if there's anything else you guys want to say about AEW, go ahead and shout it out now, or let me know if you guys are ready to talk NXT.
NXT all day long.
Well, there was 2 redeeming things about AEW real quick.
Mhm.
Yeah. I said this on episode 1, about Ricky getting the belt and he's getting obnoxious. Yeah, if you watch Dark, not Elevation, but Dark, he and Hobbs tagged, and they were against 5 and 10,
Right
Dark Order, and the Dark Order almost beat them, the 2 of them. I thought they wrestled really well, but there's a point where Ricky's like sitting and he's like, the camera's there and he's just like schmoozing for the camera and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, you're being really obnoxious. So I think if anything, that thing is going to end up being, he gets obnoxious. Hobbs is going to take that belt from him. And I don't know who he'll get replaced with, someone else. Who, I don't know.
Right on.
Maybe Eddie, because that's a good, that's a good combo. But I don't know. And then I'm really not surprised that Bobby Fish and Adam Cole were reunited. Yeah, I can't say didn't see that coming. I knew that from the moment I saw Bobby Fish wrestle on AEW. It's kind of sad, but for as much as Tony wants to be not like the other company, boy, he sure books things that are almost exactly like the other company.
Yeah, no, it's rough.
Did you hear
It's
what he
very
said to
rough.
that woman journalist who asked him about if he would ever do an all women's pay per view today on his call?
No, I don't listen to his calls.
Me neither. But I saw the thing
Sounds like
came
he's
about
on
because people
crack.
were, so this woman, I want to get her name right. I believe it's Ella J. I believe her it's Ella J. I believe. She asked straight up, "Hey, I was curious if you guys are ever going to do an all women's pay per view." And he goes, "I'm going to stop your question right there. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't think I get enough credit for how much effort and how much work we've put into the women's division specifically." And then moved on. I was like, "What the fuck?" Could just said no. Jesus. But it was a weird response. I'm gonna stop you right there and tell you you're welcome. Bye.
Yeah.
Like
What?
how much is that a quote and how much is that you embellishing it? Because if that's a quote, that's the shittest thing ever.
All right, I'll get you the quote. Here's the quote right here. "I'm going to cut off your question right there because I don't think I get enough credit. I have been making a big effort to grow and improve our women's division." End quote. That was Tony Khan's response to @It's Ella J question on whether AEW has plans to hold an all-women's event. I was really close.
What kind of insecure, worthless, cringy, sad piece of shit? I'm not nothing nice now. Jesus, that's
I'm going to cut off your question right there, Klump, and tell you you're welcome.
God. That's so fucking horrible.
Yeah,
He's
that was a bad one.
not like that. That was one of the few, honestly, one of the few areas the hardiest of AEW fanboys would throw to Triple H and Stephanie. He's like, yeah, they really did a lot for women's wrestling. NXT, fantastic for women's wrestling. What kind of who looks at AEW and it's like, yeah, that place where we had the first big promote, they everything they tried they fucked.
They're doing stuff.
I
I also liked, as we wrap up AEW, I liked that Tony Khan was on Twitter begging for viewership. He tweets at one point, "Hey guys, tonight's a big open, week of wrestling. We're hours from the go home show. Here it is on this time, at this time, on this time, at this time." You get listing every time zone. And then about an hour later, he goes, "With hours till Dynamite goes live tonight on TNT, as a wrestling fan myself, I have a request for you fellow fans. This is a huge week for AEW, and tonight's a great night to try and hook a friend into watching AEW with you. Please consider spreading your love of wrestling today. Please watch the show. Please watch the show and tell people to watch the show."
In 9 days. 9 days.
9 days. Bishop also says in the chat, "I saw that TK said, I paid for some of the wrestlers on Empower, and part of that was getting credit, and they didn't give me credit for that." All right. Good guy, Tony Khan. They did get the ratings in, though. It was over 900,000, so that's good.
Who cares?
Well, he was
like I'm
begging for
saying,
ratings. That's why I care. I want to
Well,
know if it worked.
no,
Because if
I
it worked,
mean-
I'm going to start doing that. Hey, guys, it's a big week for Wrestling on the Rocks. We're hours away till Wrestling on the Rocks goes live tonight on Twitch. As a
Oh,
wrestling
do
fan
it.
myself, I have a request for you fellow fans. This is a huge week for Wrestling on the Rocks, and tonight's a great night to try and hook a friend into watching Wrestling on the Rocks with you. Please consider spreading your love of wrestling today. See, I'm going to start tweeting that, man.
cut a promo.
Yeah.
Video yourself and cut a promo.
Can I do a response as somebody also part of the show? Please God, don't.
Yeah, don't do this. Don't watch this.
There's other things you can do. Like, did you know that Live PD is on right now? Live PD.
This takes time out of your life.
There might be Night Court somewhere. I love Night Court.
Yeah,
Bull's-
Night Court was great.
Yeah, Bull.
Bull.
Who doesn't love
Yeah,
Bull?
it's all
Yeah.
about Bull.
That's all I remember. But Night Court, please watch Night Court.
Night Court's fantastic. Lunar does say, my friends used to buy Pop-Off back in the day with a plastic bottle. And Wolf Schmidt. And he goes, y'all brought up some bad memories. You fucking talk shit on my Sky. Drinking fucking Pop-Off and talking shit on Sky.
Hey, I'll give you.
I never drank that shit. Okay.
I'll give you credit. I learned this. This is a very local reference. Amanda probably will not get it. Food City has their own vodka brand, and I had Food City vodka. That it's like
You're still recovering?
that was a rough day. Food City's like Vaughn's, but like in a shit neighborhood. All of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a. I didn't see for a few days.
That makes sense. You ready to talk about NXT some?
Yeah. Oh. Did you see? There was only one rewarding match last night. Did you see Seidel and Lee Moriarty versus Dante
Leo Rush and Dante?
Leo Rush?
I
That
mean,
was a
I
good
started
match.
to, but it was
I thought
just a couple of guys on trampolines. It was
I know, but for what it was, it's pretty good, and also a lot better than Ocean Spray. And
Yeah.
by the way, he's in my area this weekend, and if something happens to him, I didn't do it. But I'm not going to New Japan or anywhere near
yeah.
it. But just know,
you
you
might
know, if
see
he
it.
was in a car accident, that was not me.
Okay, yeah. You don't T-bone people. We know that. Cures in the chat says, I think that the funniest thing I saw was that TK not denying the question about paying journalists to cover AEW. So I guess he must have been asked directly if he pays journalists, and he skirted the issue. So funny. But yeah, I started to watch the match, and it was another one of those like hyper choreographed. Everyone's doing their flips and working together, and I mean it was fine for an AEW spot fest kind of a match. That's what that fan base likes, and they're all four good at that. So very good. But yeah, I wasn't invested in it. No, I didn't finish it. That's actually kind of when I turned off the TV and said, I think I've seen enough AEW tonight.
And I do like FTR and the Lucha Brothers, this whole thing with it. That's actually probably one of the most enjoyable things that I like. Just because of the elements that kind of are happening with that. But then, it got weird because now you're including Malachi Black and Cody and all this bullshit. And I'm like, oh, you ruined a good thing. Come on now.
Now there's that tag coming up, and I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, I suppose. I think the tag's going to be a good match because it's four guys who know how to have a good match. But I don't know what the end game is or where it's going to go to that's going to make me really switch on,
I wonder because are they putting both titles on the line? I know that AAA one is being put on the line.
I'm not talking about that match, so I have no idea.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's about Cody and Paige versus Malachi and Andrade. Or not Cody and Paige, Cody and Pac against Malachi and Andrade. It's going to be a good match. The FTR Lucha one, that could be cool. I'd love to see them flip titles. That'd be really funny. If they both put it on the line or they flipped them.
Yeah.
Are you ready to talk NXT?
Let's jump into it.
Yep.
I'm going to run it down real quick, and we're going to go back and talk what you want to. But when I look at this, Toxic Attraction versus Io, Casey, and Caden, followed up by Kaylee Ray and Saray, followed up by Joe Gacy and Boa, which, side note, I think it's time to move on from that story with Boa. I think without Xia Li, it just somehow doesn't work personally. Creed Brothers and Jacket Time, I was but he ended Raquel calling out Dakota Kai and Cameron Grimes versus Ru Feng. LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa versus Grayson Waller. Elektra Lopez versus Erica Yan. Carmella Hayes versus Pete Dunne. When I look at this, well over half these matches were fucking phenomenal matches. Like when I look at it and think about it, like the opening match, fantastic. Kaylee Ray Saray, fantastic. Gacy and Boa, not a bad match, just kind of a weird angle. Creed Brothers and Jacket Time, I actually didn't really watch. I was disappointed in where we're at with that. But then when you had Cameron Grimes and Ru Feng and the Dakota and Raquel thing and throwing in Cora Jade, all that I thought was done really well. LA Knight, Solo, and Grayson I thought was a great match. Elektra Lopez and Erica Yan was good for what it was doing. Carmella Hayes versus Pete Dunne was fucking fantastic until Dexter and Gargano got involved. This was a bunch of good matches, but the feeling I left with was like, man, there was some goofy shit going on. Like it left me thinking about the stuff in between more so than the matches, and the matches were better than the stuff in between. Am I off on that one? Did either of you guys feel similar?
No, I agree with you.
The matches were good. Why is the story making it weird to have a good match?
I agree with you. Yeah, it was. Nothing was wrong with what was in the ring, but I feel like the results were odd. Like it. The Jacket Time. Yes, Jacket Time is a joke thing, but it's. And yeah, we're building up this tag team, but it's weird to see Kushida just get thrown down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was odd.
But also the story getting in there, like the promo leading into that match was kind of already had me out of it, that I didn't even pay attention if that match was great. And then you had like Gacy and Boa, which was a pretty solid match that had a wonky ending that made you go like, should we continue this with Boa? Kaylee Ray and Saray was so good, and I forgot it was even on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's surrounded by all this other stuff. Like, it's weird to me that the stories in this are flubbing up the enjoyment of what was otherwise great matches. Toxic Attraction, Io, Casey, and Caden. That was so good. That match was surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be a decent match, and then you watch it and go, God damn, they all work really well together.
Yeah.
Crowd chanting, this is awesome. I was on board. The three-way. LA Solo and Grayson. Very impressed by that whole thing. Didn't love LA Knight taking the pin. I think that could have been given to Grayson. But I'm at LA Knight mark, so what are you going to do?
Yeah. You know it.
And fucking Pete Dunne and Carmelo Hayes. How incredible was that match until Dexter showed up? And then it was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Pete Dunne is so good, man. He is just so good. When he wins and then looks over at Carmelo and shrugs and does the belt thing, like, I guess I'll take your title. I was like, fuck, oh, so good. Amanda, what do you think about all this stuff I'm saying?
Well, one of the things with, I'm going to go to LA Knight and that whole thing. You know, when you just cut to a match of his and you don't have the, you know, him on the mic, it's really not that great.
Yeah.
Because
He talked shit right before it, or was it a segment or two before it? I think it was a couple segments before he talked some shit, which was nice, but it was very short.
yeah, but you know, but there's something about when he's going to the ring and
Oh, yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like hit that kind of shit, because it's like you get really either fired up or damn, I hate this guy, you know? And that with this, it's just like, oh, it was very flat to me. And I'm like, dude.
Now that you mention it, his music does sound weird when he doesn't interrupt it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cut my music. Cut my music.
No.
No. Okay. That, I did love that Carmelo and Pete Dunne match. I thought it was great. And then Dexter, I'm like, come on. No, I knew that something was going to happen with him when Indy mentioned him. I'm like, oh, great.
Ugh, that promo was terrible.
You know, I mean, no. But it was some of the I guess there was a lot of weirdness that I don't think was necessary, because there were great matches, and there were some that are like, as much as I love Cameron Grimes, I don't know. That whole thing is kind of stupid. I mean, yeah, decent match, but now he's doing a poker. He's playing poker next week.
Yeah.
That's stupid. And I really hate that guy, the school teacher guy.
Yes.
He just gotta go.
Yeah,
Because
not into it at all.
No point. There's no point. That was
It's
a waste
weird
of
that
a couple minutes.
it feels like Cameron Grimes is taking a step down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because he was on the up. And this whole program, are they booking Cameron? Because when you look at the way they book all this stuff, it usually has one vet and one new guy. Is Cameron the vet in this?
Uh-huh.
Because I don't think he's been established to this crowd long enough to be seen that way.
But
then again,
this is
Neither is LA Knight.
Is this a different crowd? Because the only reason why I'm asking this is because, NXT 2.0 is so different, and now you can't really see who's the crowd. I know that a lot of people are upset with Izzy's father.
yeah.
So
Lindsay Dorado wanted to beat his ass. That was cool.
Oh yeah, Lindsay Dorado was like, "I'm here. What are we gonna do here? I'm gonna be here. Here's a ticket. I
Paid for his parking.
I'm like, fucking Lindsay Dorado. Fucking love that guy.
Lunatic. Love him.
But no, like I don't know, and it just feels like, I mean, they're trying to get people. Oh, remember when Cameron Grimes did this? Well, no, because you've been showing all these weird people that I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And you're kind of force feeding me it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, beyond fucking Cameron Grimes, like LA Knight. I mean, I'd argue Pete Dunne. It seems like everyone that was present before 2.0 just is being kicked down, and not like in a well, we got to build other people up kind of way. It's fuck these people.
Yeah.
Like it really feels just shitty. Like, oh, you were here before? Fuck off.
Yeah.
We're tired of your shit, old man.
It's like, there's no use for you.
Yeah. And which is crazy too, because I still cannot. I've heard people not talk highly of LA Knight in a number of ways. But in my mind, I do not see how he doesn't fit on SmackDown in the Intercontinental title scene immediately.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no reason he can't be out there fucking talking massive shit on Shinsuke and Boogs. Why he can't be out there palling around with Baron Corbin and still stabbing him in the back. You know what I mean?
That'd be goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's not. I don't see how he doesn't fit in there,
Why the fuck is Boogs present?
I don't know what it is. Although I do like that Boogs is, in a sense, a Shinsuke super fan. Grim Reaper's in the chat. He says, whenever I hear LA Knight's entrance theme, all I sing, whenever I hear LA Knight's entrance theme, I sing California Love. There was somebody who posted the lyrics over LA Knight's entrance, and it actually fits. It's perfect. It actually works. There's no issues with it whatsoever. But I also think that might be where they're going for. I mean, it's California Love, and his name is LA. So I don't think that's a total accident. If I venture a guess. That could be getting worked.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
California Love. Well, no, Draven let it. Never mind. But I still do think the best NXT theme is the Cameron Grimes one.
It's really good.
Got a little bit Kid Rock kind of influence in it. It's bougie, but it's not.
And they're still using Josiah Williams' cut of it, and so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so it was a little weird to walk away from this show. Producer had fallen asleep early on and said, how was the show? And I was like, you know what? I felt like a lot of stuff. I felt like I loved a lot of stuff and didn't like a lot of stuff. Like it felt all over the board where all I can think about stepping out of it, maybe because it ended with Gargano, which is very possible, that I walked away from it thinking, associating Gargano, the silly shit, and all the silly shit that happened before it, being like, God, what a fucking mess of a goofy show, that it took away from the fact that moments before Gargano, there was an incredible wrestling match. And maybe if it ended on that incredible wrestling match, I would have said, you know what? There was a lot of great matches. But we ended on a goofy shit, and it made me think about the goofy shit that I wasn't into. And producer brought up a point where she thought maybe, because there was all this discussion constantly about how the age demographic for NXT was so much older than the age demographic of AEW, she's like, do you think they're trying to go for that like 14 to 19-year-old age range with these goofy, silly shits, with these sexy women parading around? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, well, I can't argue that. Like, it feels that way.
That's how
But
I
it was-
feel about it.
And it sucks because there's so much good stuff happening in the middle of it that it feels like, to me, it's getting muddled up. The good shit's getting lost in the mix. That sucks.
Yeah.
Because some of my favorites are down there.
I forgot that Kyle O'Reilly was still there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I'm like,
Was he on there? Did he do something?
he taught. He did
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
a little talking thing. That's why I was like,
You're
oh,
right.
your contract isn't in yet? Oh, okay. I'm just waiting for you to go join Bobby and and Adam.
Yeah.
and-
I don't know why he wouldn't, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, or just go back with Bobby and do Red Dragon. Okay,
Yeah.
they were awesome.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
them.
Grim Reaper says, Ciampa as champion still works for me. Me too, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happened to Thatcher?
We've not seen Thatcher since 2.0, and it makes me wonder. Yeah. It makes
I'm
me really
worried
wonder
about
what's going on. Me too.
Yeah,
But I
I'm
agree.
worried
There's a
about
lot of stuff there that works for me. Like I said, the triple threat, Toxic Attraction, even their the women they went up against, Kaylee Ray, Saray, Joe Gacy is working for me. A lot of the
Yeah.
stuff is working. It's just I think that the way that it ended and the way that it paced made me go like, God, we're still really focused on this silly shit, huh? Because to me, Gargano and Dexter are just so bad comedy that you made me forget I watched a Pete Dunne match. Like, fuck.
it. Yeah,
Like,
I know. It was horrible. Oh,
Pete
God.
Dunne, still one of the most believable badasses in the ring, and you made me forget about it because of some silly shit. Like, that's what I'm saying is what's not working for me is if it had ended with Pete Dunne winning that match and shrugging and looking at Carmelo, and it didn't have Dexter and Gargano, I'd have been like, holy shit, what a show with great wrestling. You know what I mean? They ended in a way that made me go like, God, why are we still doing so much goofy shit?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. Ciampa as champ works for me. Carmelo as North American champ works for me. Pete Dunne
Right.
as a bruiser, working.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about Elektra Lopez seemingly heading up Legado del Fantasma, and where the fuck is Santos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's felt weird to me. And her trying to get, what's his name? Who she's been trying to get in there? Zion Quinn?
Yeah.
I liked him up until his dance-off last week, and I don't know what to think.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't.
Legado del Fantasma has taken a weird turn, and I want it to restore to its former glory, if I'm being honest.
I'm like, I'm a little upset with that
Yeah.
because the element of those three is really why I enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're adding a element that I'm like, I don't think should be there. But,
Yeah.
especially now that chick from Hint Row
Yeah, B-Fab.
got released. BFAB or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I mean,
just
LA
makes sense.
Knight, Solo, and Grayson are all working for me as characters, and their intertwined storyline works for me. Like, so I agree. There's a lot of stuff that's working, but the stuff that's not working is not working so bad that it's like, I guess that one bad apple thing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I liked a lot of the matches. I didn't like much of the story. And I've been saying it for a while. I can get good matches all the fucking time. There are 5 out of 5 matches every week. I can go back and watch any of my favorite matches. It's the stories that make me go, this is good shit. And right now, the stories are making me go, God, I totally forgot I just
Damn.
watched a good match.
Yeah.
Grim
100%.
Reaper Grim Reaper says Legato needs to be made whole again for War Games. That'd be good. Actually, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart. Do that.
Wait, when's that?
I don't. They announced it December 10th. It's like the second week of December or third week. It's December though.
Gotcha.
I don't know, man. That's what I thought. Was there anything in there in NXT that you wanted to throw out there? You definitely wanted to talk about, Amanda?
You know, I think we covered everything, but I just totally, really just have hate for that teacher dude. I just don't know why.
Because he's like EC3, but a character.
Not even.
Dude, he's 100% EC3.
At least EC3 is better looking.
Oh, all right. I forgot about the dude butt factor.
Saying, that guy's like thin. He's like a toothpick.
Well, he's got a big
He
baggy
doesn't have a
sweater.
big butt.
Yeah. All right. You got me there. Got me there.
Hey.
Klump, anything left on NXT you want to get in?
No, I'm pretty good. It was truthfully a pretty middling show. Like, not saying that to be an asshole, but it just was what it was.
It was on, and I didn't mind it, and I was captivated by a lot of the wrestling, but everything in between the wrestling had me drifting away or looking elsewhere.
Yep.
And that's the opposite of what I want in a match. I'd rather say, well, the matches will get better than say that the story and the stories are incredible, than say, well, the matches are great, but I don't give a shit that the matches are great. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it sucks. It sucks because of all the incredible talent there. I don't know where it's going, I guess, but anything else, or we close up the bar early tonight?
I think we're good to close up myself.
How about you, Amanda? I don't want to cut you off, and I like to give you guys platforms if I can.
If there's anything, do we have predictions for tomorrow?
The fuck's tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. I mean Saturday. Sorry.
Full Gear?
Corporate Amanda doesn't know what day it is.
You talking about Full Gear? Isn't that Sunday?
No, it's Saturday.
All right.
Now I'm a little upset because AEW likes to do things last minute.
Yeah.
And had they told me there is a bowling thing and you can pay and you're definitely going to have someone from AEW, like one of the roster people on your team,
you would have done it?
Totally would have gone.
Where was it? I thought it was Minnesota or some shit.
It's in Minnesota.
You would not go to Minnesota to go bowling.
No, it would. Okay, there's certain people I would love to bowl with, and certain people I would not want to bowl with.
Okay.
Knowing me, I'd get stuck with I don't know, someone stupid. I'd probably get stuck with Luchasaurus because I hate him so much. And I mean, come on, it's like, did they have bowling in the Stone Age?
Yeah.
We got a really cool surprise for you. Our newest signing, Will Ospreay. Amanda, guess who you're with?
Yeah, 100%.
Also,
by the way, they definitely had bowling in the Stone Age. I believe Fred Flintstone has proved that time and again with the Water Buffaloes Bowling League. So
that's right, the Water Buffaloes. Sorry, Fred.
Yeah. But we did go over basically what we thought, that we think Bryan Danielson's going to win, that we think that you think Hangman Page is going to win. I think Kenny's going to win. We all think that CM Punk's going to win, and I don't know if there's other matches on the card even.
The women, there's a women's one, I think.
Probably. And the stuff I've been seeing online, no one's talking about it.
Let me see.
Bishop says, my predictions are that the matches will be meh, but the fan base will say it's the greatest pay-per-view of all time. Yeah, and then Tony Kahn in the press conference will say, you're welcome. Goodbye.
What a dickhead. Oh, man. One time I want to call that and ask him a stupid question.
Just get in somehow.
Yeah. Because, I'm a journalist, so, Yeah.
That'd be good.
I mean, I think so, but if people don't want to think I am, then sorry. Okay, let me see here. Here is the lineup. I don't care about Britt Baker.
Grim Reaper says Miro needs the win bad. I agree. That's why I don't think he's going to get it. I think every time someone in that company needs that win, they don't get that win. I think it's happened time and time again. That's why I think he won't. I think they've done a lot of disservice to that character, and they're going to keep it that way.
And the bad thing too about the whole thing with him is that you're not going to have Bryan Danielson lose to Miro. You're not.
Mm.
I mean, even the buy-in match is kind of boring. Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa and Anna Jay.
Yeah.
That's kind of dumb.
But I do think that the whole point of the Eliminator tournament is to get Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega back in the ring for an actual match that means something. I think that's the whole point of it, which is why I think Paige's going to lose and why I think Daniel Bryan's going to win that. Just because it's just meant to get that back. Because Kenny's like, I don't have to prove anything anymore. So now it's like, oh, now you have to. How crazy. Oh, long-term booking.
Yeah. And you know what's weird is I don't know how I'm feeling. And I saw the promos, but I don't know how I feel about MJF versus Darby. It's kind of boring.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that's on there. Yeah, I don't care.
Well, because MJF can't really wrestle. What's Darby going to do? I'm sure MJF would no-sell a coffin drop.
I would love that, actually. I think it'd be hysterical.
Well,
we'll see.
Well, yeah. I mean,
we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Are you going to be watching it live?
Probably.
Mm.
Am I paying for it? To be seen.
To be seen. All right. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll live tweet about it. We'll see if anybody else is watching it. Maybe we'll throw together a little watch along, or maybe we can get Bishop from Terrible Wrestling Takes Podcast to put together one of those spaces on Twitter that he's so good at, and we can just jump in there and talk some shit on the old headphones while we watch it in whatever way we can.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll do something like that. We'll see if we can't convince him to put together a spaces, because he's a Twitter fiend. No, I'm kidding. He's just better at that shit than me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know how to use it, so I'm just like, whatever.
I'm going to start a Twitter spaces on episode 2.
There you go. But, yeah, that's never going to happen. So, but I think if any match, it's got to be that Hangman match, if any. If you're gonna,
I only want to see it.
Eddie and Punk.
Yeah, Eddie and Punk, I think for sure. Miro and Daniel Bryan, I think for sure we could probably jump in.
Yeah. Everything else, I don't care about the Men of the Year and the Inner Circle. I'm really tired of the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
I'm tired of Chris Jericho. But I'm going on the cruise again.
Oh, yeah, and they put Dan Lambert put Jericho through a table in a really shitty spot, and it just all the more makes me go, okay, cool, Jericho's going over again in a feud.
Yep. Great. And I'll tell you, another person that they really kind of screwed over and should have been a champ or had some kind of belt, Scorpio Sky.
Yes.
Too late now.
I think so.
I mean, I like Ethan Page, but you know what? Honestly, it's a waste of Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Call it how we see it, people.
Call it how we see it. Bishop does say, then I'd have to watch it. Fuck that. No, dude, you put on the spaces and we'll commentate for you. We'll tell you what's happening. We'll tell you why it's a good thing you're not watching.
Yeah.
But, guys.
We're not asking you to buy it, dude. We're not asking. No. Yeah, no.
100%. So, guys, I think it's going to do it for us today. I think we're going to wrap up this bar. I think we're going to close it down. Yeah. I think we will be back next week for a brand new episode 1. And I think that if you stick around and follow us on Twitter, I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR The Show. With me today has been at Miss Amanda Jane and at Crybaby Klump. And if you give the old good follow to at TW Takes Podcast, then we can see if over the weekend we have an episode 1 spaces drink along, but maybe not. Guys, thank you for coming through and having a drink with us. Amanda, thank you for making the time. Klump, thank you for making the time. Everyone coming through the chat, we appreciate it. We appreciate you guys having a drink with your drinking buddies. It doesn't matter what you're drinking. It's who you're drinking with. And I'm glad you guys were here to drink with me today, of all days. We will be back next week right here in the dive bar of the IWC for a brand new episode 1. Guys, that's last call.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.